Welcome back to Retro USA Memories, where we love the 70s, even the parts that nearly exploded, melted, or mutated us. In part 3 of our Banned Inventions series, we're leaving the house and heading into the world of big business and big mistakes. Buckle up, preferably not in a turbine-powered car. Cigarette ads targeting kids, cool, colorful, criminal. In the 1970s, cigarette companies still advertised freely, on TV, billboards, even cartoon mascots. Brands like Kool and Camel used colorful characters, sports tie-ins, and even free toys to attract teens. Ads showed doctors recommending brands or cool kids lighting up behind the school. The backlash grew quickly, led by parents, teachers, and public health advocates. The Public Health Cigarette Smoking Act banned cigarette ads on TV and radio in 1971, but print ads aimed at youth persisted into the 80s. Toy chemistry sets with real uranium. Yes, in the 1970s, certain toy chemistry kits actually included uranium ore samples. Companies like Gilbert sold atomic energy labs in earlier decades, but vintage stock circulated into the 70s via garage sales and collector catalogs. These kits let kids measure radiation with Geiger counters, build cloud chambers, and feel like mini-scientists, all while handling radioactive material. By the late 70s, such sets were pulled due to rising nuclear fears, and federal restrictions were tightened under the Atomic Energy Act. Fun? Yes. Safe. Let's just say no modern toy comes with a radiation warning label. Ephedra and fen-phen, diet pills with a deadly price. In the battle against belly fat, the 1970s gave us ephedra, a natural stimulant that promised energy, appetite suppression, and fast weight loss. It worked, a little too well. Ephedra raised heart rate, blood pressure, and risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden death. Paired with other drugs like fenfluramine in the infamous fen-phen combo, it became a lethal mix. Despite red flags, it was heavily marketed, especially to women. The FDA banned fen-phen in 1997 and ephedra for supplements in 2004. Weight loss isn't worth a heart explosion. Just eat fewer Twinkies. Carbon tetrachloride, the cleaner that cleaned you out. This industrial cleaning solvent was a staple in homes and factories. It removed stains, degreased metal, and even worked in fire extinguishers. Problem? It was highly toxic, especially when inhaled or absorbed through the skin. It damaged the liver, kidneys, and nervous system, and was a probable human carcinogen. It took years of workplace poisonings and animal studies to convince regulators. By the mid-1980s, carbon tetrachloride was largely banned for consumer use. If your cleaning product needs a hazmat suit, maybe stick with vinegar. Lead-lined lunchboxes, tastes like heavy metal. It sounds insane now, but some insulated lunchboxes in the 1970s used lead-lined vinyl to keep food cool. Tests later found that lead could leach into sandwiches, especially when heated in the sun. Kids absorbed it by touch or ingestion, with all the classic symptoms: learning delays, behavioral issues, and organ damage. By the early 1980s, new safety standards banned lead from lunchboxes, toys, and food containers. Chrysler Turbine Car, the jet that never took off. It looked like the future, sleek, powerful, and powered by a jet engine. Literally. The Chrysler Turbine Car was introduced in the early 1960s, but lingered in testing through the 1970s. It could run on anything flammable: gasoline, kerosene, even tequila, allegedly. People were thrilled until they actually drove it. It roared like a jet, had dangerously high exhaust temperatures, guzzled fuel, and polluted like a factory. Worse, Its turbine parts were incredibly expensive to replace. Public interest faded fast. Chrysler recalled and scrapped most units by 1979. Today, only a few remain in museums. Fun to test, terrifying to park in a garage. PCBs, toxic coolants in every transformer. Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, were used in coolants, paints, sealants, and electronics. Fire-resistant and chemically stable, they seemed like an industrial dream, but they didn't break down, ever, and they leaked into rivers, soil, and eventually human fat cells. By the 1970s, workers were reporting liver issues, rashes, and neurological symptoms. Scientists found PCBs in breast milk, wildlife, even Arctic ice. The U.S. banned PCB production in 1979, but cleanup efforts continue today. Some contaminated sites are still labeled toxic zones. If your product ends up in polar bears, maybe rethink your formula. Gasoline cans without safety nozzles. Before safety spouts and child-proof caps, gas cans were metal or plastic jugs with open tops, prone to spills, vapor buildup, and fires. One spark could ignite the fumes. Children drank from them. Adults used them near grills. Thousands of accidents were reported yearly. By the early 90s, new regulations required spill-proof spouts and safer storage designs. But the 70s were a flammable free-for-all. So that wraps up Part 3, the end of our trilogy of terrifying tech. From jet cars to radioactive toys, the 1970s proved that innovation sometimes runs faster than common sense. If you survived this era without glowing, combusting, or getting lead poisoning from your sandwich, you deserve a medal. Subscribe to Retro USA Memories for more blasts from the unsafe past, and don't forget to share your wildest memories in the comments.